Today in the battle arena, Saitama versus Ghost Rider. Saitama might be famous for beating any opponent with just one punch, but what's he gonna do against Marvel's Spirit of Vengeance? Well, today, we're gonna find out who wins and why this fight is insanely close. So let's get to it. What's up guys, I'm Daniel and this is Danco. We do fight breakdowns every week, plus the occasional power ranking video like this one or things like that. So if that seems interesting to you, we'll sit back and enjoy the video. Hit that like button. If you want to, we'll hit the subscribe button while you're at it. Now let's get to it. Saitama was once an ordinary man like you or me, trying to get by in a 9-to-5 world and make ends meet. But having always wanted to be a hero as a kid, Saitama began to train hard, doing 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, and running 10 kilometers every day for 3 years. And as a result of all that training, two things happened. One, his hair fell out, and two, he became so strong that he could kill any monster with just one punch. Which honestly, really sucked. Since becoming strong, Saitama was able to be a hero as a hobby, but his overwhelming power denied him what he wanted most, a real fight, where he could go all out and push the limits of his strength. What's more, the world at large didn't seem to acknowledge his power, dropping him at the bottom of the hero ranks and attributing most of his efforts to others. In that time though, he's met and taught the Cyborg Genos, encountered all sorts of incredible monsters like Boros, Orochi, and Garo, and prevented massive cataclysms more than once. And though he doesn't make a big deal of it, turns out he's got some pretty good heroic instincts. So maybe this hero thing will work out after all. No matter how much you try, there are limits to your growth. God actually designed it this way, where each creature has to grow within certain parameters, and the mechanism to control that growth is called a limiter. Heroes work hard to develop their talents and gain incredible powers, or they enhance themselves with experimentation or cybernetics, or some are simply born with remarkable gifts. But Saitama is different. He was a normal person of ordinary birth with an ordinary lifestyle and no particular talent. Yet, just through sheer effort, he forced open his limits and demolished his limiter. He self-evolved, acquiring unimaginable, limitless strength. So strong that Saitama is able to effortlessly defeat powerful monsters and villains with a single casual punch. He's done this plenty of times. Pretty much every monster that Saitama runs across, well, he can destroy them with just one punch without even trying. And Saitama is always getting more and more powerful too, to the point where he's fought against a simulation of himself from just the day before, was able to take him out with one punch. He's destroyed a meteor that was threatening several country-sized cities with just one punch. He's jumped from the moon to the earth before, destroying a lot of the moon's surface in the process. And he's easily one-shot Monster King Orochi, whose body is durable enough to contain part of the Earth's core inside of him. Or his durability is so great that most punches thrown his way are just meaningless. They don't do a thing. They literally can't hurt him or affect him. And he's so fast. They can kill monsters and appear to be standing in place and having never moved, or dodge attacks and keep up with opponents so easily that he just thinks it's funny. And that's all when Saitama is barely even trying. If Saitama wants to though, he can perform the serious series moves. In the serious series, Saitama is basically trying a bit harder and putting more effort into his attacks, unlike before. Still not even close to his upper limits though. He's been able to one-shot Elder Centipede and obliterate evil ocean water with a serious punch, and he's deflected Lord Boros' collapsing star roaring cannon, which had the power to wipe away the planet's surface. with just one serious punch. And in the process, well, he split apart the atmosphere and killed Boros. Saitama is even so powerful that he could blow apart the earth with just one punch if he really wanted to. It's just that he would never want to do that. And then there's his fight against Garo. Garo might not have started out as much compared to Saitama, but after having some power imparted to him by God, Garo became one of the most powerful beings in the universe, and was able to give Saitama the best fight he's ever had. And even then, Saitama was still able to win and was fighting with just one hand. But it's the most serious that we've ever seen Saitama, so let's take a look. During the fight, Saitama is pushed further than he's ever been before, and experiences an exponential growth rate in his powers that we've never seen before. It looks like a combination of emotional pressure and a worthy opponent gave Saitama the opportunity to tap into powers that again we've never seen before. He can destroy a moon with a serious table flip. A serious sneeze blows away all the gas surrounding Jupiter's core, and he's able to send Cosmic Garo flying with each punch he lands. And all of Garo's powers, every technique at its disposal, the best it can do is just destroy Saitama's clothes. And even though Cosmic Garo is literally copying all of Saitama's stats, Saitama is growing so fast in his strength, his speed, his durability, that Garo literally can't keep up. And still, none of this is near Saitama's upper limits. So that's Saitama, probably a multi-solar system, galaxy-level threat, and possibly higher than even that, with how exponentially fast he was growing. And then there's Ghost Rider. The first Ghost Rider, stunt rider Johnny Blaze, agreed to sell his soul to Satan in an effort to save his dad's life. So now at night, when evil is around, Blaze finds his flesh consumed by hellfire, his body possessed by the mighty demon lord Zarathos, and becomes the Ghost Rider. And there really is no way here for Ghost Rider to physically match up with Saitama's physicality. Sure, Ghost Rider gets a boost in strength when he becomes Ghost Rider, but at best we're talking like 5 to 20 tons. Like enough to stop a car or throw around a big heavy machine, absolutely nowhere near the planetary level strength Saitama regularly operates in. Then unlimited strength if you just look at his way high-end feats. But of course, Ghost Rider was never meant to be a physical match for someone like Saitama. That's not what he's about. As the spirit of vengeance, Ghost Rider is bounded with a spirit called Zarathos. Now, a little bit of debate whether Zarathos is a demon or actually an angel, but either way, it makes Ghost Rider incredibly powerful when it comes to magic, specifically hell magic, like Hellfire, which is magical fire that actually burns both the body and the soul, or the Penance Stare, which replays all your transgressions over and over again, making you feel the pain of all that you've done. And it's really here where this fight will be decided. So here are a few questions that we now have to answer to see who'd win this fight. We know that Ghost Rider can't physically injure Saitama, but can Ghost Rider maybe injure Saitama with his magic? Specifically, would the Penance Stare work on Saitama, even if he has never intentionally done bad things? Question number 1. Question number 2. Ghost Rider can't physically injure Saitama, but can he actually injure Ghost Rider? Is he strong enough to just put down Ghost Rider right away, magic or no magic, spirit or no spirit? So, the Penance Stare. This is Ghost Rider's kind of signature attack and his most powerful. It allows Ghost Rider to look into your mind and soul, bombarding you with all the pain and suffering that you've caused others. And that's it. Simple as that. Some people think there are certain rules to how the stare works, like that the person has to have committed a sin, or feel guilty for their actions, or even that Ghost Rider has to make direct eye contact. Well, nope, none of those are really true. Ghost Rider doesn't have to make eye contact. He can punish a whole city at once, and has nothing to do with sin or guilt. Like here, Ghost Rider uses the penance stare on Blade, who at the time has the full power of the Darkhold. Yeah, that book from Doctor Strange. The little book that contains the Chthon's powers, the elder god who created dark magic in the universe. And just look at some of the descriptions used here. Blade's experience is no different from the countless others who have felt the pain they have inflicted. No different, but 100-fold more severe. Every cell in his body explodes with the pain he has inflicted upon his recent victims. He relives their deaths 1,000 times in the span of a microsecond. The experience threatens to shatter his mind. This is how it works. No matter if you're a good person or not, if you're guilty of some sin or not, none of that matters. All that it needs to work is a soul, which Saitama should have, and if you've caused pain to others, whether for good or bad reasons. Like take Madcap for example. Madcap is insane. So insane that he can drive other people insane with just a look. Madcap is also immune to feeling pain, and even with his neck snapped, he's just fine due to his Deadpool-like healing factor. So in short, he can't feel pain, and he's too insane to feel guilt. Ghost Rider's penance stare still does him in. The penance stare is also able to put down Wolverine, even though Ghost Rider admitted that a lot of the pain that Wolverine has caused others was warranted and for a good reason. Penance stare still worked on him. Sure, sometimes the penance stare doesn't work, but that's usually because the person doesn't have a soul, or there are people that are specifically immune to it, or people that are actually empowered by pain and suffering. Other times it hasn't worked because Rider didn't understand how Ghost Rider's powers worked, or just didn't want to work in that specific story because the move is just too overpowered. We can kinda write those off. Basically, the penance stare doesn't care who you are, doesn't care how you feel about what you did, or even why you did what you did. It just cares about what you did, and so it inflicts all the pain that you've inflicted on others throughout your life. If it can work on a literal angel, then it can work on Saitama. And if all that isn't enough to convince you, you want something more specific, the Spirit of Vengeance considers chasing a speeding car into a crowd of innocent bystanders a punishable offense. Even if you're trying to do the right thing, fighting a bad guy, exposing innocents to danger still makes it bad and punishable. So yeah, Saitama falls under all of this. So there's a good chance that Ghost Rider can beat him with the penance stare. Of course, Saitama is such a goofy character that it's entirely possible the penance stare doesn't work or even backfires for some reason. Saitama's a weird character, and he's definitely done some weird things in the past. But here's another question. Can he injure and put down Ghost Rider? Well yeah he can. Sure, Ghost Rider's plenty durable. He's taken a whole bunch of attacks from a whole bunch of people in the past, but he's very rarely fought against someone on Saitama's level. When he has, like with Hulk or Thor, well, Blaze has actually regularly been knocked out. Knocked out. And if Ghost Rider isn't able to get the penance stare off the very first moment in the fight, then I actually think this is exactly what would happen in this fight too. Saitama lands just one punch on Ghost Rider, and Johnny Blaze is down for the count. Only problem is, that doesn't mean the fight is over, because even if Blaze is knocked out, Ghost Rider still fights on, except this time, Zarathos is in charge. And when this happens, well, Ghost Rider gets a pretty substantial power boost. Like, I'm talking the kind of power to take on the Avengers all by yourself, the kind of power that makes Hulk and Thor look like afterthoughts. Zarathos at his best is on par with someone like Mephisto, a demon of hell. Mephisto is able to fight against Galactus. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that Zarathos is directly on par with Galactus. It doesn't quite work like that. But I am saying that Zarathos should be comfortably 2 or 3 tiers above Saitama. And the only way to beat him is with some serious magic, some special magical artifacts, the powers of heaven or hell, that sort of thing. None of which he has. If Saitama isn't instantly taken out by the penance stare, then he will knock out Ghost Rider. That's how it would play out. Once that happens, and Zarathos is unleashed, maybe there's an off chance that Zarathos doesn't fight Saitama, because he doesn't see him as someone worth punishing. But they do end up continuing to fight, and there's really absolutely no chance here. Saitama might be powerful, but he's not beat a demonic hell lord by yourself kinda powerful. At least not yet. When he beats God, that'll all change. So yeah, Saitama versus Ghost Rider is a very close fight, and it likely ends with Ghost Rider winning. But what do y'all think? Sound off in the comments down below. I know you're gonna have thoughts and feelings on this one for sure. If you stuck around this long and made it to the end of the video, that's amazing. Thank you so much for watching and for supporting us. And if you want to go subscribe, well, go subscribe. You're going to see more videos like this one every single week. I'll see y'all then. I'll see y'all next time.